All right. So looks like we are recording. All right, perfect. So what we're looking at right now on the screen, this is our cloud product of SAWin. We're looking at the dashboard view. I'll talk a little bit about that, but this is the main screen you're going to see when you first log in. Now, up top, this is what I call the Essentials toolbar. This is where a majority of the things in which you're going to do will start. But we'll start here with the with the company dashboard, and then we'll make our way over to the dispatch board and take a look at how we provide service within the SN1 product. So this dispatch board is giving you all the ability to see what's happening under the hood. So we can see how many invoices we've completed and not approved, those that have been approved and not posted. We can see our pending quotes and recommendations. One of the things that we do is, let's say for instance, you send a quote out to a customer. You may not want to recreate that quote every single time when the customer reaches out to you all. We can actually push that over into a recommendation. And then at any point, if they decide to move forward, that recommendation is there waiting for us to plug that in either to a quote or into moving that over into an actual job and getting the work scheduled. We also provide you all with an understanding of how many new customer locations you all have for the current year and the current month. And all of these metrics can be changed by coming to the details here and changing the time frame and changing the dates. Same thing with purchase orders. Let's say, for instance, you all are doing purchase orders. Do you all do purchase orders in-house, or do they just go and pick up parts wherever as needed at the vendor?
Yeah, we do purchase orders in-house.
Okay, gotcha. So you'll be able to see all purchase orders that have been created to be received and orders to be completed. And then you'll see down here, we also do the calls by service type. So if you all are breaking down based off of plant maintenance as well as residential service, you'll be able to see the breakdown of, hey, how many plant maintenance agreements have we serviced, whether it be the last. Right now it's showing the last 90 days, but you can have it as you see here. We can change the date range however you all like. You can even come down here if you scroll down to custom and see, okay, hey, how many we sold in the last 5 days? Once again, that's totally up to you all to control that. And even with the click of this button, we can hit details and it takes us over to the actual report of this so that we can see the breakdown and we can actually filter out or essentially create and see more columns if there's additional columns here. So just wanted to show you that. And then as we keep going, we have our pending maintenance schedule. We have our estimates by status. We do have a dictionary in which you all control whether or not it says estimate or proposal or quote. And so if you all do proposals, by all means, you would just come up here to admin, go to dictionary and change estimate to proposal so that everyone's using the same language company-wide. We also have it to where you'll see the tech scorecard down here in their performance. How many calls have they not completed? How many callbacks have they had? How much revenue have they generated for the company per hour? Bill efficiency, the whole nine. And so this is really giving you all an analysis of who are our top performing techs. And we can even break it down per tech if necessary. We can either do that here based off of the type of work that we do, or we can come to the analysis field. And this allows us to break it down once again, based off of each tech. So right now we're looking at Tech Ted, but if I come here and I want to look at Darrell, I can see how Darrell is performing based off of the analysis and the work that he's done within the system. Okay. And then the last one that I'll mention is really dispatch volume. So this is helping you all understand how much are we dispatching on a daily basis, and does this account for us needing to increase the amount of techs that we have or decrease, or maybe even move to techs going out as a crew to service some of the companies a little bit fast, or sorry, the customers a little bit faster, as opposed to having to go one by one and get those knocked out. Now, all of this is customizable. You'll see here that we have the widgets function, giving you all the ability to add additional widgets wherever necessary. And so all of these widgets were requested by our customers. And so we want to ensure that if there's something that you all need to see, especially on that dashboard, recommend it to us. We'll get it over to our development team, and we'd love to see that. We'd love to see that come into fruition within the program. Okay. Also, another thing to note is you'll see here that I have multiple dashboards. I do not have to be set to one dashboard. So if I am an office manager, I may look at things totally different than the warehouse manager. Same thing for the business owner. I want to see everything, right? Or, hey, I'm a dispatcher. I only want to see a certain amount, right? And so you all will be able to control that by the user on which dashboards are their dashboard and what they will see when they initially log in. Any questions about the dashboard before I move on? Take the silence as a no.
Yeah, yeah, I think we're good.
I always ask that so I can drink some water. Believe me, doing this, doing this a lot. I'm always talking. I'm like, man, my mouth's always dry. All right, so we'll
You know,
move
if we
on.
want to have those, I got a question. If we want to
Sure,
have
sure.
some of the widgets changed and you have to have that programming, how long does that typically take?
So it really depends because based off of if the data's already within the system, it doesn't. I would say we've seen some stuff happen within 3 to 5 days, depending on the load of our team. So right now we are working on a lot. So right now, if we were to request it, I believe it could take up to about 14 days to get that developed for us. Because right now we're really revamping a lot of the stuff, even like the color scheme, the UI, the UX. There's a lot of stuff that's going into play right now. And so some of that stuff may necessarily be pushed out, but I've seen it happen within 3 to 5 days. I've also seen some stuff come into the platform within a day. It just kind of depends on how much of a lift is it? Is it an integration? Is it a data pool? Do we have to create additional tables? Once again, it just kind of depends based off of the request. So if you would love to give me an example of what that would look like or what you're thinking about, I can definitely go to our developers and say, hey, how long would this take? And I can communicate that to you.
I mean, is that development team stateside now, or is it still international?
It's still international.
Okay. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I was just asking.
Yeah, I got you. You've been around for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, because we do have. So one of the things I'll mention is we merged operations with a company called Blue Folder. Not sure if you've ever heard of them, but they have been in the industry for I would say around the same amount of time, 20, 30 plus years. But they started out with just simplicity. And what we're doing is we're taking the practice of their simplicity and bringing it over to SAWin with the years of experience, especially in the HVAC industry. And so when we merged that operation, yes, we actually brought in 3 developers that are stateside that are going to be working on the projects within SAWin. And then we still have our team over in India that still does majority of our dev work. They are the ones that helped us build this platform that we're seeing today. But once again, with merging those operations, we are putting a lot on our stateside to make sure that if there's small improvements that they can make um, now, as opposed to having to wait until speaking to them during their time zone and then getting the development, we are starting to see that come into fruition. So a
So
lot of good stuff coming.
let's say that we have a glitch in the software and we need, some support. So do y'all have an in-house support team that can help us walk through something? Say the screen gets locked up or something's not working properly and we have to call somebody to get it fixed.
Absolutely. Yeah. So all of our support is stateside. All of I would say majority of them are here in the Houston area, but we do have people throughout the U.S. That support our business. Especially, we have a guy over in Oregon. We have one in Philly. We have Oregon, Philly, majority here in Texas, and then Gene's in Mississippi. So yeah, majority of our support, if not all, well, really all of our support is stateside. It's really just the developers that we've contracted. That's not stateside. They're offshore. Cool. All right, let's keep moving on. So as we come up here to the top, you'll see the admin speaks for itself, right? This is where we're going to do the company setup. We're going to manage the dictionary, manage the groups within the business, as well as the users and some of our templates. Now, all of this is provided to you, at least the training and the setup. When you first get started, Gene, who is our implementation manager, will walk you all through the setup. They'll walk you all through how to include your users, how to invite the users, as well as for the admin section, as well as for the mobile application. So all of that is included. We give 60 days, but it's not required to cut you off at 60 days. It's essentially saying you have up to 60 days, and if you want more, just submit a request. And as long as she has the availability, then she's willing to obviously meet with you all to make sure you have this set up the right way. One of the things I always like to go into with the company setup is your traditional, we plug in your logo. So everything that they will see whenever you all open up the platform will show your company's logo, your company's information. We also want to ensure that if there is any, where are my? So as far as anyone else that's not a technician, we want to make sure that they're an employee master so that you can keep track of the work that they're doing within the system as far as audit logs, because obviously that's important to go back and say, oh, who did what and when. And then as far as service dispatch, you'll be able to see here that we have various options that will allow you all to customize the solution to your need. Once again, Gene's going to be there with you. But we want to make sure that this makes sense to you because primarily this was built for HVAC, but we do have plumbers and electricians that use this, and we do have garage doors and locksmith, you name it. And so we want to make sure that we customize it to what it is that you all want to see out of the platform. I know you all talked about flat rate. We have our flat rate setting in here. You also have the ability to build custom fields. So a lot of customization in here, but ultimately we're going to teach it to you and make sure we have it set up the right way. Kathy, you got a question?
Are the
You.
tickets?
So this product called SAWIN Basic,
Mhm.
does it tie in any way to the SAWIN Pro that we already have, where we already have all of our company information set up, our employee master file down there you were pointing to, our payment terms, et cetera? Would they share, or would it have to be completely reset up?
So what we can do, because we own both databases, is we could actually push that information over into this product SA1 Basic. But one of the things that because we've done it both ways. We've done it to where we've had SA1 Basic move over to the Pro Enterprise and Pro Enterprise move over to Basic. Ultimately, you just need to tell us what you want to come out of that system. But one thing that I will note that SA1 Basic does not have the accounting and the payroll. We either lean on QuickBooks, Sage, QuickBooks Online or desktop, and then right now we're building the Sage integration. If you all are going to continue to do the accounting. What's that?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that's all good. That's it. So if you all want to continue to utilize the accounting that you're using on the Pro Enterprise side, you definitely can. Jean would be the best person to ask that process because she does have customers that are using the basic and pushing it up to the Pro Enterprise to make sure that accounting is accounted for.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Jerry, you said I already answered your question, or?
Yeah, I was going to butt in, but you answered my question about the QuickBooks because that was one thing I had in research that I found that y'all use for that as well. So
Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah, I think
So
a lot
this-
of the systems that you. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Charles.
So this Gene guy that you're talking about, I mean,
It's a lady. I'm sorry. It's a lady.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, it's okay.
Gene,
I thought the same thing when I first started.
Jean, okay. So, can she help us better understand that when we get ready or think about think about how that integration would work? So if we do that, we could book our tickets in the same software. Do we have to book our tickets over here? Or is it just the accounting side of it that changes? That's my question, I guess.
Yeah, so it would just be the accounting primarily. I would want to reach out to her to get a little bit more insight because Jean, she's not a CPA, but she's done accounting for the last 25 plus years. And she's assisted us with building what you guys see here today and how the accounting was set up. And so she would be more of the expert to answer those questions. She is on site with one of our customers this week for an implementation for Pro Enterprise, and she'll be back next week. If I can get that question answered for you, it'll be sometime early next week. Cool.
Sir, so when you say accounting, I'm just looking at the SAWIN Pro, but
Yes, ma'am.
do you mean that the AP module is gone and the general ledger module is gone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Just trying to get a feel for what it would be. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. You'll see here that we have receivables. The only thing that is here is essentially the AR within SA1 Basic, and then we, for majority of our customers, are depending on QuickBooks to do the AP side and the AP side. Some will do payroll with QuickBooks. They use other obviously third parties that are out there as well, but majority of it is dependent on QuickBooks. Okay. All right, moving right along. Let's go over to the dispatch board. I'm actually going to duplicate this so that I can show you all. We're going to go ahead and go into service. All right. So this right here is our dispatch board. I have not moved any of my demo jobs over, so I'm going to go back a few days Let's see here. It looks like we had, can't remember the last time I put a job on here, but I want to show you the full scope of our, come on, work for me, guys. There it is. All right. Guess it was the 19th last time I did a presentation. Matt right here is one of my trainees. He's been doing a majority of the demos here recently. But this is essentially our dispatch board, very similar to the SAWin Pro Enterprise product. We have our unassigned calls over to the left, and then you have your all of your technicians labeled to the right. Right now, I'm looking at the basic view, but we also have the horizontal time slot view, which is here. And then we also have the vertical time slot view. All right. So this is what I've seen in the past for a lot of companies. They typically do the vertical. If you want to do the horizontal or the basic views, totally up to you all. But very similar to the Pro Enterprise product. Essentially, all you have to do is take that job that is unassigned, and then you drop it based off of the technician, and it will automatically schedule it based off of the block that you put them there for. And as far as going into the information, once again, after they receive after this is placed on them as far as the schedule, then they'll automatically receive a push notification on the mobile application that they are assigned a new job, and they can open that up and go ahead and start getting to work. One of the other things that I find super helpful is knowing which technicians are available, which ones are on duty, which ones are off duty. So we're seeing this green hat that just shows that they're on duty. Red means that they're off duty. We also see that the title of each person, right? So we have our electrical master tech, right? I think it is master tech. Then journeyman, and then the apprentice. So you all will be able to separate each users specific to the specialty that they provide. And then the other thing would be our legend. Once again, very similar to the Pro Enterprise side, letting you all know, hey, if I've arrived, if this has been dispatched, if it's complete, if the call's running late, or the work time exceeds the allocated time budget, you all will see those notifications, and you can either turn them on, or you can turn them on or turn them off, because sometimes people just don't want to see those blinking lights, so they just want to see a solid color. So some customization there. Last thing is around the calls on a map. So some people would like to see the calls on a map. So essentially, we just hit the calls on a map. If you have a display somewhere, you can actually put this map on a display somewhere in the office, and you'll be able to see the locations in which you all are planning to service. Okay? And you can click on it, get some further details, and then if you want to go a little bit further, sorry.
Okay. Now, does that tell you the actual where the call is, or does that tell you where the technician is as well? Can you do that? Show the
yes, sir. So this is going to tell you both. It's going to tell you where the technicians are as well as where the calls are. So what we're clicking on right now, this is where our customers are. You see here, this is an emergency call. It's a residential. I'm not sure what VC is, but I know that's a residential side. And it looks like I'm scheduled at 7:30 based off of the current view of the dispatch board.
So when you're moving the calls from the unassigned to assigned, does the technician see it as soon as it's assigned, or do they not see it until it's been dispatched to them?
So the moment it is assigned and on their calendar, they have the ability to open up the mobile app and see it. Okay. Kathy, I believe you had a question.
I'm not sure if this is something Jerry and Jennifer would be of interest or not, but when you slide it from unassigned to a technician, does the customer also get some type of notification?
They can, based off of the communication preferences of the customer. If they want a notification every time the status is changed, then yes, they can receive one. But based off of, let's say, for instance, we go into, we can go into broken. If we go into broken spoke, you'll see here that email allowed, text is not allowed. So if they don't have the text allowed, then no text message will go out. We can have that email go out based off of the updates. But once again, solely up to them based off of the preferences.
Okay, yeah, because one thing that we do want is to make sure when a technician clears a call and they're heading to their next call, that next call gets a notification, hey, our tech's on the way, just so that we can, eliminate the no-show. Because we had one this morning where the customer forgot we were coming. Luckily, we found out before the technician was dispatched and was traveling out to their house. But I think that would help save us some no-show calls if we can let them know, hey, we're on the way. And then if they get that text, say, oh, I forgot y'all were coming, let me reschedule or whatever, versus us showing up.
Gotcha. Yeah. So we build all of that through the admin as far as text templates. So I'll show you that. I go back over here and I'll show you. So when tech is dispatched, you'll be able to see this message here. Your technician has dispatch and is on the way. And then if you want to include their name and number, if you want to include some bio data, even if you want to include a technician picture, you can do all of that.
As far as the technicians having access to their calls, we don't have a problem with them seeing all their calls for the day. Our issue is they forget to go in and complete their tickets by putting their time or putting their work description, and they'll leave their tickets open like all day long. Is there some type of way that we can have them complete the ticket before they go into the next ticket?
Yeah, absolutely. So I can hop over to our mobile app and show you right now if you guys are okay with that. I don't mind jumping around. No opposition? Let's do it. All right. All right. So give me 1 second. Just need to share from my device. I always give a disclaimer. My wife is at home today. She's probably going to text or call me. I promise you, whatever you may see, I have no control over. So I always want to give that disclaimer because I am on my personal. When I've been telling them to give me a company phone for the longest, but that hasn't happened. So, all right. So I'll stop sharing here, and then on duty. Do 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 do. Today is the 1st. All right. Okay. Join. Add this device. Share screen. Start broadcast. All right. Should be popping up here in just a second. All righty. You all can see my screen, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, perfect. So this is the mobile app. Let me actually go back a day. There we are. All right. So this is the mobile app. This is what the technicians will see whenever they get to the mobile application. I'm going to change my camera so I'm not looking here. All right. All right. So we'll see our jobs here. Before they can do anything, they are required to mark themselves on duty. Okay. So they would have to hit this on duty button at the very top right, on duty. It'll automatically register for the time in which is right now. Right now, where I'm at, it's 9:45. So I'm going to go ahead and hit done. This will turn me to on duty, which shows me as green. So that's the first gate that they need to get into in order to do work. Okay. Now, whenever they do that, they see their jobs here. This is all the jobs that I have scheduled for me for today. And then let's say, for instance, I want to go into this Billy Sanders. Before I do this, we see that there's no purchase orders needed. There's no parts that are needed right now because that's labeled as 0. We can also see that there's a phone icon, which allows us to call the customer. There's a map pinpoint that allows us to see exactly where this is on the map. And if we go a little bit further, we can see that there's a map function that shows us all of our jobs and where they're going to be located for the day. So we want to kind of give them a little bit of visibility into what their workday is going to look like. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to tap into Billy Sanders. It's an emergency call. They need somebody to come out here and check the AC. So I'm just going to go ahead and tap that. Brings me over into the job. We see here basic information, why we're going out there. And the first thing that they need to do is go right here into call time, hit the pencil, and then the first option is that dispatched up top. That's going to let the customer know that they're on the way. Okay. So we're just going to hit dispatch. It'll automatically register that time for dispatch. Once we get to the actual location, we mark ourselves as arrived. So we would hit arrived. And then now from here, I'm ready to go ahead and get some work done. One of the things you mentioned, and was that Jennifer? You asked this question, Jennifer?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So one thing that we can require is that they have to either complete a checklist, which we see at the very bottom, to ensure that they did the things in which you all requested them to do. So if I go into that checklist option, you'll see here that I have a few here. You can have 1, you can have 2, you can have 10. It's up to you all on what you want to do here, but it's not required to do all of them. It's just required to do one that you specify. Okay. So let's say, for instance, I want to go into the summer PM right there in the middle. And we'll see here that these are some of the options in which they would have to fill out. So did you replace the filters? Check. Did you check the thermostat? Check. Is the cooling cycling? Check. Right. And then just kind of go through the list. You'll see here that we also have a grading of health. So you all can determine whether or not it's good, bad, or fair, or what have you. You can even add some pictures to this and capture a signature with the customer to ensure that they completed everything and the customer confirmed that they completed everything. Okay. So that's one option.
Is this customizable as well? So we can.
Very.
Okay.
Yep. Every question in there was all customized. You all can build it once again. As many questions and options as you all want, you'll be able to build that, and we can show you that during the implementation phase. Okay. The last thing, Jennifer, that I wanted to mention is I'm going to tap the complete button, and you'll see what happens. See that? Please select an outcome code. There has to be an outcome that shows that they officially completed this. So if we come right here, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th row, right? Row, column. Yes. Sometimes I get those mixed up. So we come down to the 5th row. We hit outcome. This shows us, excuse me, this shows us whether or not they completed it, whether or not it needs approval, whether or not they were not home, needs parts ordered. Once again, this is also a customized list. So if there's any reason that you all need them to select one of these options before they move on to the next job, this is an additional gate before they can close this out and either invoice the customer or at least once again get approval from you all to send that invoice out from the admin side.
Okay, let's say they don't do that. Can they still click on the next ticket and get the information and hit to that and do that without completing this ticket? Or can you say, if they try to click on the next ticket, say previous ticket not completed yet or something, so that they can't get into the next ticket?
I'll have to double check on that. I don't believe we have that, because I know that if I go back, I'm an admin, so I'm sure I can do a lot of stuff, but I'll have to double check and see, because I just went back and I'm sure I can tap on the second job and then complete, and obviously work on this one as opposed to completing the other one prior. But we have those 2 gates. Once again, I'll note that and ask Gene if we have the ability to stop them from doing the second job.
Right now, our techs will open a ticket, head to it, may not even pay attention to what they're supposed to be doing, and do the work, and then wait till they're on their third or fourth call and go back in and complete the first ticket on the day. So we're trying to keep that from them being able to do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I do know that when we went through, let me see something real quick. Checking one thing real quick. Give me a second.
Are the techs able to invoice this while they're there too, so they can collect payment and
Yes.
email? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yep. And I'll show you that here. Now let my screen go out. I'll check into that one. I don't want to take too much of our time, as I was already a little bit delayed with you all. So my apologies once again. So what I want to do is go back into that job and show you how we would invoice this out. Before I do, I want to go ahead and add some call parts. Okay, let me talk through this. And I'm over here scrolling and not showing you. So as I scroll down, right, we have our build to, we have our service master, we have our problem. If I have any special instructions that have been set for me, it'll be labeled as yellow. So I'll be able to see that. I can go back into the service master notes to see, was there anything that was stated from the dispatcher or from the sales folks that I need to pay attention to. Work description is essentially my completion notes. So I can go in there and type in what I have. We also have it to where we can standardize the descriptions. So let's say, for instance, here, replace capacitor, check the unit for proper operation, and just hit done. And then now we have a worker description, once again, that's going to attach to this job as well as this invoice. And as I stated, when there's something there, you'll see it as yellow. So you'll know, okay, hey, I can actually reference this and see what's there. If nothing's there, you can just skip over it. If there's any pieces of equipment that we want to add to this job, we can come right here to equipment and add those pieces of equipment. It doesn't look like I have any equipment saved on this one, but the equipment will be listed here. You'll see here that I also have images and documents tied to the equipment. So if for any reason we want to send this out to the customer, we can attach this equipment along with those pictures. Okay. As I scroll down, purchase order, we can create a purchase order right from here as well. So if they're out there in the field, they need to create a purchase order, they can do it right from here. If there's anything that is not within the system, let's say, for instance, it's a non-inventory item, once again, they're going to be able to add that purchase order here for both inventory and non-inventory items so they can get those things picked up. Okay. All right. And then call parts. Let's say, for instance, we want to go ahead and add a part to this job. I can go ahead and search. I'm just going to select this one just for time's sake. Once I select it, I can increase the quantity, adjust the description. It does not change the overall product within the database. It only changes it for the job that we're adding it to. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. All right, so we have that call part on there. And once again, it'll be labeled there for us with 1. Take notes. Speaks for themselves. If we need to capture a signature of any sort, we have that there. Documents is where you're going to store your documents and your pictures. So once again, as I've stated to you all before, you'll see here that we can take a photo, select from gallery, select a video, capture a video, or even upload a document. So this is available to you all when uploading. And then really below this is anything tied to the service master. So maybe they're on contract. Maybe we want to take a look at their history. We want to look at some of the equipment that they already have on file. Who are some of the additional contacts? Hey, instead of me, doing this job, customer wants me to quote this out. I can go ahead and create a quote right from here by going to quotes. So everything that they're going to need is essentially on this mobile application. I've added my call parts. And now I'm going to go ahead and close this out. So I'm going to go ahead and move the call time, mark my outcome as completed. Okay, now I can go ahead and complete. Once that's complete, you'll see here, there's a label for invoice number 10687. That invoice number is also the job number. Okay, so invoice number and job number are going to be the same. We're just going to hit that field, and this is where we would either email it out, text it out to the customer, capture payment from customer, add additional service items wherever necessary, flat rate, you name it. Okay, all that's going to be here. So essentially all we have to do is select from our pricing list here, whether it's a purchase order part, whether it's a most used part, which is the MU part. We can add this from call parts that we already have, right? We can add solution code. So if you all, once again, have been using Pro Enterprise, you know what solution codes are. So we can add solution codes, most used solution codes, or we can just add items. For right now, I'm just going to add an item. I'm going to make it, make sure it's non-inventory, and then I'm going to give it a cost of $100. Oop. Okay, and price will be $5,000. That's a lot.
It's
Test.
my kind of markup.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I said we're here to make money, right? Not just make people happy. So we have our pricing items there, and if we're ready to go ahead and get this out to the customer, once again via email, we can hit the email function, which is we'll hit the text message function. We'll start from right to left. So the text function is here. We just plug in their phone number. Once we have the number, we hit send at the top right. That's texting. Email is here. We just, once again, plug in their information. If it's already on file, which I didn't have an email on file for this customer, the email will automatically plugged in there for us, and we can go ahead and get this email out to the customer with the invoice attached, as well as a link to pay that invoice, or to pay that balance down on that invoice from that email. Okay. Then we also have the ability to attach additional images. We have the ability to capture a signature on the invoice, and this is a digital signature, right? So we're sending a request over to them based off of the phone number that they have, to where they open up the browser, they can attach the signature, and we can bind that to the fact that they promised that they would pay. And then the last one is essentially authorizing work. So if we're there at the location, we want to authorize work, we can do that as well. So there's a few options there. If this is essentially the final step, once again, we email it or text it out to the customer, and then we go back to the home screen or to the tech calls at the bottom right, and that gets us back to the work in which we need to complete. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, so when they have a link to pay option,
Yes, ma'am.
if they choose to pay by credit card, is it possible that this program can add a 3% fee?
As far as to sort of offset the cost for the credit card processing fee?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I believe we have that both on the payment side and within the internal system. I'll get further clarification on that because I was talking to Jean about a month ago and she said that we did. Not sure exactly where it's at, but I do know that for SAWIN Pay, we do have that on the SAWIN Pay side just by itself outside of the SAWIN Basic. So
Okay.
we can ensure that gets applied. No problem. All right, and I know we're running up on time. I got 2 more minutes. I just want to show you a few more things. If you all do have inventory, you'll see here at the bottom right, we have inventory here. You can search it. You can find it by truck or location. Time card for any time that they do any work. We'll be able to see the time here. They can attach a signature to the time in which they have completed for the day as a way for you all to confirm that they did all the work, all the time was registered, and we're going to pay them for the hours in which they worked today. And then the last thing I wanted to show you on the mobile app is really this is where I kind of geek out, to be honest with you, because as we talked about the offline capabilities, I cannot show that to you here because it has to be offline. I can definitely send those screenshots over to the chat so that you all can see it. But essentially, as they go in and they don't have any service, they come right here to offline capabilities. It's going to pull up the last 3 to 4 jobs that they've done, and it allows them to see what they need to do to upload pictures. Yes, we're going to store a little bit of that data on the device, but once it connects to the data centers, it'll automatically upload that to the cloud and remove it from the device. So essentially, we're using the storage on the device as a way to make sure that they can still get work completed. Okay. And then the other thing that I geek out about is really this training module. So not a lot of people do ongoing training. It's something that we do here internally. It's something I've been doing over the last 5 years to ensure that everyone is up to speed and up to par on the requirements for the work in which we need to complete. And so we have a training module within the mobile application that allows you all to upload videos here for your techs. Hey, how to install a capacitor, how to change out a filter, how to add additional Freon, right? You all will be able to add videos here And as this is a resource bank, no more are they calling you Charles or you Jerry or whoever else is responsible for answering questions on how to do things. They can come to the video training source first, and then you'll ask them, hey, did you watch any videos based off of this in the training resource? And if they said no, you can revert them back there so that it can free up your time and you can do other things that bring, revenue back to the business. And I would say that's pretty much it. There's more. I could definitely show you more, but once again, I know we're at time, and I want to be respectful of you all's time. So, are there any additional questions I can answer for you all before we disconnect?
Yeah, do you know if the techs will have the capability of seeing the service history from the site when they're after hours call, or if they're on a call during normal hours as well?
Yes, sir. So anytime they get a call from a customer, they would just go at the top right, search Service Master. And let's say, for instance, I'm going to Lifetime Gym as an example. What we can then do is come to the Service Master, hit the I button at the very bottom, right? And right from here, we get the history, the equipment, the contract that they're on, any recommendations that we've put in place, who are all the contacts there. So they may call the first contact if they don't answer. They can reach out to every contact there to ensure that they can show up. You got your quotes here. We can book an additional call, or we can upload some images. So they're going to be able to do this right from the mobile app.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so have you talked to Jerry about the pricing of this as well?
We have not talked about pricing. I don't believe that came up yesterday, right? We didn't talk about Jerry?
That's correct. We didn't talk about it.
Okay, gotcha. So would
I'm
you like
just
to know what it
curious
costs?
about, yeah, how is your pricing structured, I guess?
Yeah,
Per
so
tech, per software, all of that.
Yeah, so we operate on the model of it could either be your pinky toe, we can go for a whole foot, or we can do an arm and a leg. I'm being silly. So what we do is there's three models. There's a right. There's three models. We have the core, we have the pro, and then we have we have the core, the plus, and the pro. The pro is $7.99. It covers the entire organization, and let's say you all have 20 people, 20 people are covered. You want to hire on 5 more people, it stays flat at that $7.99 rate. If we decide that we want to start with the core, which is our $249 product, it doesn't come with all of our features here. I'd highly recommend, especially if you all are pro enterprise, to go with the pro. Sometimes I get plus and pro mixed up. It's too many P's. Go with the pro. Once again, because everything that I've shown you here today, as well as the functionality that I believe you're going to need, is really on that pro side. The plus right in the middle, it is a sweet spot, but the only thing that you're not going to get on that side is the training, the contracts and contracts billing, the
Is this
I know
per
we include
month?
pictures. It is it's per month. So it would be $7.99 per month. There's no deposit or anything like that. You just pay that $7.99, gives you essentially the 30 days. Now what we always want to recommend going for the full year. It's my job to pitch the value of why going a full year, because we do provide discounts on a yearly subscription. We get 15% off of that $7.99 for obviously for the year. So you all will be saving quite a bit of money if you all decided to do the annual as opposed to the monthly. Now, one thing I'll tell you is it's not a contract, right? It's kind of like prepaid service. I don't even know if people do that anymore. But I remember I used to have this cell phone when I was a teenager, and we had to pay for a certain amount of days, 30 days to use it. And then after that 30 days, if you didn't pay, it got cut off. It's kind of the same way. We're not going to cut it off, but we're going to ensure that you all are still wanting to use the program post that 30 days. So we do put it on auto pay. And if you decide, hey, you know what, this is not for us after about 90 to 120 days or what have you, essentially what we will do is we will cut it off based off when you decided to move away from our software, and we'll give you your money back. We don't keep anything hostage whatsoever. We truly believe that if we're not earning your business every day or every month, then that's part of the reason why you've decided to go elsewhere. So, yeah, that's our pricing.
Okay.
Is
How
there
does your
information, a one-time setup fee or anything like that?
Yeah, no one-time setup fee. It is the $7.99. You pay that. We start the process and implementation and get the ball rolling.
What about like mobile licensing and things like that? Is there
Yeah,
any?
no. All of the mobile users come included in that $7.99. So all you would essentially have to do is just get them set up on mobile.
Okay.
And so you can implement that mobile into into any tablet like an iPad or anything like that that we want. The AirTechs already have iPads that we let them use. So then it would just be a link is what you've got for this.
Yeah, so you can either open up the web browser and plug into the software that way, or we do actually have an official mobile application, which you see here on my screen that they will open up on their tablets as well. So it would be the same app.
And that's included in the $7.99.
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I am all for any additional questions that come up after you all sit and deliberate on whether or not we're one of the top options as you all are shopping around. My goal here is once this video does render, I'll send it over to you all just in case there was someone here that wasn't able to join us and you all just want to kind of talk through, the functionality, working here with SAWIN, with SAWin. And I'm saying SAWIN because you said that, Kathy.
Yeah.
I know so many people say so many different things. When I first came in, I was like, how do you say it? But I'll send over the video and I'll ensure that if there's any questions that you all may have as a reply back to me, I'll get those answered for you, whether it be myself or whether with Gene or anyone else within our support or our dev group to get those answered for you, because I know it looks like you guys are trying to make a decision fairly soon.
Okay, I appreciate it.
No problem at all. I'm in sales, so I do this thing after every demo just to make sure I'm doing my job.
Okay.
So I have to ask you the question, are you all looking to move forward with SAWin today?
Not today. Yeah, we
Gotcha.
got some
I appreciate it.
discussions tonight. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I figured. But I told my boss like 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, hey, I have to do this in order for me to feel like, I checked off the list that I did everything that I could on this call before I ended the call. So I appreciate you all and your time. Once again, I appreciate your patience this morning, as well as me showing up a little bit tardy to the meeting. But if you all saw some value today, please, also provide me with some feedback. Your Pro Enterprise users, if there's anything that you all may want to see from Pro Enterprise over here outside of the accounting, Kathy, I promise you, I have tried. I have tried so hard to bring the accounting over here. But if there's any other suggestions that you all may have, we're open to the feedback as well. Okay.
All right,
Awesome.
thank you.
No problem at all. You all have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
You too, buddy.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.